Okay, hi everyone, and happy Friday Eve. Welcome to the seventh episode of Creator Tea Talk. I am your host, Jade Powell, and for those that are new here, Creator Tea Talk is a series that brings together brands and marketers and creators and influencers to discuss topics relating to the creator economy. Our last episode was, I think, in early March, where we discussed the de-influencing trend. And it has been a couple of weeks since then, just because Mama was on vacation living her best life. But now we're back, and I wanted to kick off the month with a topic that I know many of us have been seeing trending on social media and beyond, and that is the TikTok ban, or should I say, the potential TikTok ban. So I know that when this was kind of trending originally, there was a little bit of misinformation being spread. So I do want to clarify that what we're talking about when we say the TikTok ban, currently the United States, Canada, Britain, and New Zealand and Australia have banned TikTok on federal or government devices as it relates to American users. However, those who do not own a government device still have access for now. But the concern for many, including creators and influencers that use TikTok, is essentially this ultimatum that the Biden administration has given ByteDance, which is TikTok's parent company, to either sell TikTok to an American company or risk being banned in total. And of course, if TikTok is to be banned, that will have a huge impact on influencers and creators who kind of built their livelihood and brands and community on TikTok. So I just wanted to pull together a panel to kind of discuss the future of TikTok, and kind of get a POV on creators and marketers, on what the future of TikTok kind of has in store for us. So with all that said, I do want to give my panelists an opportunity to introduce themselves. And Jess, I'll start with you because you're the first person I see on the screen.
Amazing. I'm Jessica Ferris. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the brand comms director at Dentsu Creative US. Recently, the audience engagement director at Adweek, where I helped launch its creator network and wrote features about social strategy on TikTok and beyond. And I led Adweek's social team and built its TikTok presence. I'm also an author and a TikTok creator in my own right, with 82,000 people who listen to me talk about etymology and word origins. And I have a book coming out later this year, partially based on research I did for that channel.
V, I'll pass it over to you.
Hi, I'm V Spear, better known as Under the Desk News. I have like 3 million followers on TikTok. I will hit 3 million today, so I'm manifesting that right now. And I do quick takes at the news each night and then explainers on civics and government. I also have a podcast called the V Interesting Podcast, where we dig into 4 headlines that didn't make it to the mainstream and interview somebody very interesting. So Jess, I just like to throw it out there. I am going to want to have you on the show because I think what you do is so interesting.
Oh, thank you. I would love to.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And Mari, over to you.
I am Mari Monet. I'm a content creator on TikTok. Me and my sister, we have a cooking thing on TikTok. We recently got picked as one of the top 10 food creators on TikTok. And we just do so much food content, honestly. And we recently just came out with a cookbook that is available on Amazon.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, y'all. I definitely don't want to delay it. So now that you all have introduced yourself, I kind of want to hop into the discussion. And I think we have to kind of start with the most obvious question when it comes to this topic. As I mentioned before, there was a bit of misinformation being spread just because when congressional decisions were kind of being made, people kind of jumped the gun and were just announcing that there was a TikTok ban without any clarity. So I guess my first question for the panelists is, what should people know about the potential TikTok ban?
Do you want me to take that one?
Yeah.
Do you want to know from a policy standpoint where it's at?
Any of you can go for it.
Okay.
I'd love to know that.
Okay, go ahead. You can go first.
No, I would love to know from you on the
Me. Yes, I was in the room. I was sitting directly behind Shou Chu, and I've been in touch with the TikTok team and with legislators around what is happening. So the quote TikTok ban was the front for a piece of legislation called the Restrict Act, which would give the Secretary of Commerce the power to ban any app that was developed by a quote foreign adversary that provides quote security issues, right? So who is a foreign adversary? What is a security issue? They did not really line that out. That bill was incredibly supported by Democrats and Republicans because it really kind of reads like a Patriot Act 2.0. For those of y'all who remember right after 9/11, the government struck fear into the hearts of Americans everywhere and got us to sign off on a piece of legislation that allowed them to spy on Americans using our telecommunications devices. Well, now we're not just using our phones to text, we're using digital platforms, we're using video game chat, we're using Discord channels, and the government doesn't have access to all of that kind of stuff at their will. And so they drafted this piece of legislation called the Restrict Act, which would give them broad overreaching access to every single keystroke that you make online. It would also give them the right to ban any app out of just straight up out of the air if the government, without an election, decided that that app was dangerous to national security. They wouldn't have to prove it to Americans. There wouldn't have to be a vote. They could just go ahead and do it right away. So obviously there are great complications with that. Americans don't love that idea. And while they had originally kind of spun it out there as we're going to ban TikTok, and initially, a lot of the TikTok haters were like, yeah, we hate TikTok and we hate all the Chinese apps and everything else. They're now realizing that they'd be giving up an awful lot of their freedom to own the libs, and they don't want to do that anymore. So we've seen politicians like Rand Paul, newscasters like Tucker Carlson, people who do not typically align with the ideas of progressive liberal folks, coming out and saying the Restrict Act is incredibly dangerous. They don't support it and they think it should be struck down, and anybody who supports it is bordering on authoritarianism. And so right now, I would say that the TikTok ban is further away from becoming a real thing than it's ever been. And a lot of that has to do with public outcry, with the fact that Congress was so uninformed for that hearing and acted so foolishly, and the fact that Americans are smart. We're smart. We know how to read legislation. We're more organized, and we're organizing more frequently with each other than ever before. And we were able to see right through the front of this bill to the heart of this bill. And hopefully this will not pass.
That actually made me feel a lot better about the situation.
Yeah, it really did.
Good.
It really did.
Good. I'm telling you, I'm in there for you. I'm in their face for you.
That was so informative. I really, really am excited about that.
Great.
For me, the most frustrating part of this has been the tech illiteracy of the legislators who are pushing for the ban, because they risk making these sweeping changes that could seismically change the social media and free speech landscape and set a precedent for further restrictions across the internet. Like in the hearing, the lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, but especially the right wing in general, treated the app as a threat. And on top of that, it was painful just how little they knew about how the app worked. Like there was a super awkward question in which a congressperson didn't understand that TikTok is like, it runs on your home Wi-Fi. Like it just illustrates
that
how
was
very
very
little
unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it reminds me of when Mark Zuckerberg appeared before Congress and someone asked him about how Twitter works. I'm like, oh no, not this. But it's also nice that some members of Congress realize, including Dean Phillips of Minnesota, is the enormous reach and activity on TikTok and the impacts that can have on their platforms. And that means, they can reach voters. It's becoming a huge part of our economy and the voter ecosystem as a whole.
I love that, Jess. Thank you. One of the things I want to ask you as well, it seems like this conversation around TikTok potentially being banned is really striking a nerve with a lot of creators and influencers, obviously, who have kind of built brands on the platform, largely just because it seems that TikTok has had this almost like transformative impact on the creator economy in a way of becoming a creator or influencer more accessible. So do you all have any a POV on how TikTok has changed the creator economy over these past few years?
Yeah, I call TikTok the community theater of social media apps for a reason. And that's because this is this place that we can all go. And regardless of your point of view, video editing skills, or finances, you could just start to talk and you could start to get followers and you could start to put the things you care about out there in your own most comfortable way. And so I think it's incredibly important to the discovery aspect, not just for folks who want to be activists or politically engaged or politicians, but for musicians, for artists, for comedians, for chefs. There has never been a platform that democratized the ability to grow a following and to build a community for as little financial investment as possible as TikTok has.
I definitely feel like TikTok has really changed. I've learned so much on TikTok, like that I've even learned in high school. I've learned so much throughout these 2 years of being on TikTok and stuff like that. I feel like there's so much room to grow. It is so easy to just be yourself on there. I've seen so many people be so comfortable to be on this type of social media app than going on Instagram. Instagram is more so you have to be perfect in every single way. And on TikTok, you just be yourself, post it, and people will love it regardless.
Mm-hmm. I love that V called it the community theater of social media apps. That's perfect because it really made the case for creators to connect with audiences on a personal and less curated level. There are, of course, polished creator vids, but this isn't, the production value of YouTube, and it isn't the curated Instagram presence. It's scrappy, it's conversational, and it's monetizable. The audience on TikTok is curious, and it seeks relationships with creators, and it rewards responsiveness and action.
Yeah.
And I love that you both said that, especially V. I've never heard someone kind of compare it to a community theater because that's literally what it is. And I love that you said that.
Yeah, we don't get paid that much, and we do it for the love.
Yeah, that's literally what it gives. I love that. And it's funny because that kind of transitions into another question I wanted to ask. There's this idea of creators feeling that they can be more authentic or themselves on social media, knowing that, creators and influencers are concerned about this potential TikTok ban. They feel that they may not be able to kind of show up in the ways that they want to on other platforms, especially in the sense of in the case for authenticity. So do you feel that there are other potential platforms that can kind of replicate that energy that TikTok has?
No. Quick answer, no. And I got asked this in an interview earlier today. They were like, what will you do? What platform are you going to migrate your followers to? And I'm like, I'm not, because I'm not going to spend the time that we have grieving something that's not lost yet and trying to move mountains to get my community to go to a platform that I'm on there. All the TikTokers are on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on those platforms. I don't want to guilt my audience into going back to a Meta platform or to going to YouTube, which is something they don't natively use. I think it's a fool's errand to expect that, one, you're going to be able to migrate all those people to a different platform, and two, when you get there, that somehow you'll be able to recreate the culture and algorithm and community that we had on TikTok. It really is, for me, you have these seasons in your life and you have to just appreciate them while they're there. It would be kind of like, I also equated the ban on TikTok to feeling like the last couple of weeks of high school. Like the government has told you that you can't be here anymore, even though you owned this place for the last 3 or 4 years. And now you have to go, and you're going to take some of your friends with you to college, but you couldn't possibly move the entire experience with you. If a TikTok ban comes down, we will do what we've always done. We'll do what we did before TikTok, which was innovate, create, find our people, look for the people that we cared about. But while we have it, enjoy it. Keep making content, follow new people, just absolutely go to the wall with the content that you want to create and the friendships you want to foster. And don't grieve what's not gone yet. And don't waste your time trying to execute Mark Zuckerberg's marketing plan by convincing everybody to go follow you on Instagram.
Sure. And also another thing is, since like she was saying, where would you move your followers to? Absolutely, I would not want to move it to Instagram or Facebook because they just took away the meta of paying for the content that we post on there. So that for me, it's just like, why would I even want to go somewhere where obviously we're not appreciated? And then back then, after they took that away, now we're paying for blue check marks. So you guys just made a lot of money, turned around and making people pay for blue check marks. I just think it's just not. I mean, if anything, it would be YouTube, but I'm not very comfortable on YouTube. I'm more comfortable on TikTok. That's like my home. That's where, I've been this entire time. I do have some type of following, but I can't relate to YouTube than I can relate to TikTok.
Yeah, you can replicate functionality, but you can't replicate culture, and the culture of every platform is distinct. Every social media outlet, the way people talk about and interact with TikToks that are, say, reposted to Instagram or Reddit or Twitter, it's not the same as the way people interact with them on TikTok, because it's just a different type of relationship between you and your followers.
Exactly.
Absolutely right. And I think too, I'm curious because some marketers, I think, especially from a more strategic standpoint, who are doing influencer marketing campaigns for brands, I think their initial like knee jerk reaction is that if TikTok gets banned, they have to pivot strategy, of course, but immediately think of emerging platforms to get on, or put more spend or more time and energy and content into their existing platforms and continue growing there. But are there any considerations that you feel from marketers that they should be keeping top of mind when building out influencer marketing campaigns going forward, whether that be, for TikTok specifically or just for social media channels in general?
Before I was a TikToker, I was an entrepreneur coach. So let me give you guys like the inside of what I'm doing with my folks. Okay. With like people who and I don't even know who's on this call. I'm just going to give you all my thoughts. All right. We're just going to be real with it. Last year during an election year, I had tons of potential brand deals, speaking gigs, every single thing possible. And then once this TikTok ban business started up, folks started to get gun shy with me. They started to be like, well, I don't know. What if you're not here? I don't want to sign a whole year deal. I'm like, then sign a month deal. What you have right now is the most captive and interested audience I've ever had. You have people tuning in every day because they have this fear of loss that it could potentially go away. So what we need to play in is, you do have a limited time potentially to use me then. Let's do it right now. What you were going to do in a year, why don't we do in the next 3 months? Like, let's capture this audience and try to monetize this audience, sell whatever it is that we're selling, get whatever message we need to get it out now, because they're not going to ban it in the next 3 months. It's going to take months, if not years, to execute a full national ban. And that seems to have resonated well with folks. I'm also pushing on TikTok, who similarly is trying to save their app, right? So just so you know, like what I'm advocating for on the inside, now that I have like inside contacts at TikTok, is things like, well, Rep Clark brought up a great point, TikTok. Are Black and brown people being left out of monetization opportunities? Is their content being suppressed? You should prove that that's not happening. You should be investing in Black women right now to show Congress that that's just not true. You got to use all this stuff to your advantage. And I think that we have a huge opportunity right now to both hold TikTok to better monetizing their creators, right? So that the creators continue to fight for the platform to not be banned because they have more to financially lose. We need to get those questions asked about democratization of who is being shown on the FYP, push for more transparency again, because TikTok right now really wants the creators to be excited about them and trust them. And then on the other side, when it comes to brands and marketing, why would you walk away right now when this app has more attention and eyeballs on it? It is more dedicated creators on it right now, and you have a huge opportunity to be supporting these people. Why wouldn't you continue to invest in them and support them and get your product on TikTok in front of people? Because someday maybe the government will ban it. It's a huge waste of time and it's a huge waste of money.
Exactly. I 100% agree.
To get to the brand marketing side of Jade's question, I play on all social media platforms by necessity as an engagement professional. And there are, I think, a few principles that are broadly applicable to platforms, including TikTok. The ones that I tend to advise people on are keep it simple. You don't want to complicate any moment. And on that note, only join conversations you should be a part of. expect the unexpected. Marketers that succeed on TikTok and beyond should always be on the lookout for culturally relevant trends that make sense for them to join in. And they can emerge in the most unexpected places, in TikTok comments, on Twitter, anywhere. And then reacting promptly and intelligently. Participation in trends should be thoughtful, authentic, and timely. The content has to align with a brand's existing audience and not look forced. You have to earn trust in that process, and it's earned over time and should be done with respect. And then finally, on that note, establish relationships, connect with people, utilize it as a space to make a meaningful impact in people's lives, and to show up as the brand that you are.
Love that, Jess. One of the things I want to touch on, which you just mentioned, was building those relationships, which is obviously one of the core aspects of all social media platforms. And it's interesting because I think, once again, this idea of navigating towards emerging platforms or platforms that have already existed but may have not been in the forefront for American audiences. A lot of people I've noticed have been talking about Lemonade. I think that's how you pronounce it, or Lemonade. It seems like that is a space where people are considering kind of jumping over to. And for those that don't know, it's also owned by ByteDance as well. So that's going to be interesting. But
Yeah.
do you all have any thoughts on Lemonade, or do y'all feel like that will be the future TikTok, or just the platform that people will navigate towards in the future?
It's tough to get a social media platform off the ground if it doesn't have a really unique value proposition. So I'm not sure an Instagram competitor will reach the same level of success as Instagram itself has. It's sort of like Hive and Mastodon, which came out of the Twitter drama. Like, they exist, they have communities, but they haven't achieved the same status or size as Twitter yet. And I have doubts that Lemonade can do that, but it could. I mean, what if it achieves that level of success in an international market? I suppose it could end up, doing that, or, making its own unique mark here.
Yeah, I think we run into the same issue. If the government is going to ban ByteDance, they're going to ban Lemonade. And so what I would caution folks to is, when you're picking another platform, and what I'm really curious about now, and I don't know how I'm going to get this answer, is how much money did Clapper put into the amount of bots and people that were paid to say, just go to Clapper, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. Like, that was so inauthentic. The bots on go to Clapper, I had to add Clapper to my keywords to like filter out all those comments. It was insane. I think you got to look at it again, and I know it might feel risky, but you can't be the CEO at two companies effectively, right? And each platform is its own business, because the content is different, even if you're syndicating some of your content to each platform. So for me, again, I think it's important that I am a TikToker. I syndicate to YouTube Shorts just to sort of like build a little cush over there because it fits in, but I'm not creating new content over there necessarily. You gotta like stay focused on the task at hand. If you're extremely successful on TikTok, I advocate that you keep making TikToks. And to your point, trying an Instagram competitor, that's nothing new. People already have a place to put their fancy photos.
Definitely. If I was to go to YouTube, I would definitely just post shorts every now and then. That's like the easiest way to get your subscribers up overnight. So just kind of recycled posts and stuff like that.
For sure. It definitely makes me wonder if like some of these more, well, I will be clear and say that Lemonade has been around for a while. It's just a little bit more, I guess it's been more recently introduced to American audiences, but it definitely makes me wonder, at what point is it the right time, I guess, if we want to call it that, the right time for platforms to kind of put themselves in front of new audiences? Because it kind of reminds me of during the pandemic, how Clubhouse became this like platform that everyone was telling you to get on. It was like communities were joining left and right. And then as soon as we can't even say the pandemic is over, but as soon as people were back outside again, it was like, Clubhouse who? And it definitely makes me wonder if it's going to be this repetitive cycle for new platforms, or platforms that are kind of introducing themselves into new regions of the world as well. And then what does that look like for its users? Because I do kind of worry that there's going to be this burnout with like all these social media platforms just kind of pumping out and encouraging users to sign up essentially. It's just kind of like, we've already gone through so many platforms like RIP to MySpace, High Five, Friendster, and there's
Foursquare.
Black Planet, like
Yeah.
it's so many. And there's not to say that there isn't room for more, but it definitely makes you concerned about longevity for sure.
That you're exactly right. I mean, we can only expect so much attention from so many people. And so again, while TikTok is here, I say you rock with it. And if you have to pick something else later, you will. Yeah.
Yeah. And
TikTok is just good vibes.
Say it again, Jess. Sorry.
TikTok is just good vibes. I love my audience there, especially the one that focuses on word origins. They're just there to learn. And now I'm part of this whole community of other educators who focus on niche topics like I do. It's great.
I love your TikTok, Jess. Your TikTok is incredible.
Can I throw an idea out there instead of considering, like TikTok was a platform. It was an avenue for discovery. And for folks who have built either a brand strategy there or their brand there, you might want to consider like, what does this look like in real life? And the fact that TikTok doesn't pay you directly, we've all been figuring out, what does this look like in real life? So for chefs, it's, leveraging your TikTok following right now for a pop-up or for a cookbook, like get that kind of stuff under the wire. For Jess, maybe it's like, doing some sort of paid course that people can sign up for to continue that educational side of things that then you can leverage and sell to schools and whatnot. That's what I'm doing with my stuff. It's like, do I want to write a book on how to be a citizen journalist? Because that's important. And it's just helping people get access to information where if they do shut off the lights tomorrow, I have translated my discovery avenue into the real world, as opposed to trying to rebuild myself as a social media star. I don't see myself as a social media star. I see us all as educators and talented creatives. So what does it look like in real life is maybe worth considering.
Hey, let's talk about that book. I'm writing my second book is almost done. It's coming out in November, and it wouldn't have existed if not for my TikTok platform.
Yeah.
And Mari, I don't know if you're going to plug this, but Mari also has a skincare brand and she does a lot of beauty content on TikTok as well.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
plug this shit for you.
Yeah.
So Mari, instead of like trying to get people to go follow you on Instagram, start like putting together your pitch deck and like bringing it to Target or whatever and being like, look, I've got all these followers. I've got all this access. I've got the attention for now. Like, take my beauty brand on.
Yeah. It's so funny that you said Target, because I was recently having a talk with them about getting in for like Black History Month.
Yeah.
But at the time that I didn't have the what is it called, when someone to invest in and have as many products. So once I do get to that step, I definitely would reintroduce that to them again.
Oh, I love that. And I think you made a valid point. I think now would be a great opportunity for creators and influencers to again start thinking about what does not only their community but their brand look like offline. I think for those that work in marketing, we know that there's omni-channel marketing. There's so many platforms, channels that you can be leveraging to build your brand, build brand awareness, and introduce your products or services, or get your face in front of more people, not just social media. So it's definitely something for creators and influencers, I think, to start thinking about, especially if they don't yet have any ownable properties. So whatever those kind of like micro brands or brands look like outside of your social media presence. But yeah, I definitely think V is right in that. And then I want to ask another question. I think V just hopped off, so we'll see if they'll hop back on. How do you all recommend that TikTok creators or marketers get involved in political action relating to the TikTok ban?
I think V is our authority here.
Can you ask that again? I don't know. I had like a twitch and I like clicked off this tab, so I missed the question. What was it?
No worries. I was asking, how do you recommend TikTok creators or marketers get involved in political action relating to the TikTok ban?
Follow political TikTok. I mean, if you follow my channel, let's say, like, because that's easy to find, right? Then you go in the comments, you're going to see a lot of consistency of the same people posting, or do like hashtag US politics is a great one. Hashtag keep TikTok if you want to advocate for TikTok. And then I think if you This is the thing that I did when I created my brand is I was like, it literally took 3 seconds and I didn't even know I had a brand until one of my friends told me. I just wanted to create a world that people could come and visit. And so when you are thinking about how you're going to set up your creator account, one, I would advocate for picking a name that's sort of an avatar that's maybe not your first and last name. Like most people know me as Under the Desk News, not V Spear. I think there's goodness to that because it kind of like creates a character for you inherently. And then create a world in which people know what they can expect when they see you in that world. When you scroll and you see me under the desk, you know what to expect, and you're going to tune in for that. So when you're creating what that platform is going to be for you or what that character is going to look like for you, just kind of stick to the fact that you don't have to be everything to everyone. What is the thing that you actually care about and that you're going to be the expert on? And then what are the things that you care about that you're going to be a good listener and commenter on, because that's part of participating in the community. And then kind of just start making videos. You'll be surprised the first time you make one, how addictive it is and how much more confident you get as it goes along. And for months, nobody watched my stuff. I would get like 100 views, 200 views. It takes a while to get going, but it's that reciprocal relationship you have where you're finding people and they're finding you. You're commenting and listening, they're commenting and listening. That helps you build something that really matters. And that number of followers matters a lot less than the engagement you have and the consistency you build in the community. So don't worry about having 1 million followers. I know people who have 50,000 followers who have more power than I do when it comes to moving people. So, be your own little rainbow.
I agree with all of that. I mean, I am always just stunned at how like curious, intelligent, and passionate my audience is. And mine was entirely born out of like, I had been writing about etymology on a blog for like 10 years. And I was like, hey, how about I try making these into TikToks because everybody loves word origins. And I was like, well, I can also use it to promote my book on the side. But it mostly turned into like just having this community of creators who are focused on teaching people like interesting things that they didn't know about the world they were already interacting with and the words that they were using every day. It's just been pure magic.
Honestly, same here. As far as mine was just a spam account. Like honestly, just posting stuff, not even like I just really wanted it to be private for friends and family and just posting, my sister cooking, and then it like went viral and it was just crazy ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I'm going to plug Mari shit. Now her and her sister have a cookbook as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jade.
I'm going to need you to get it together, man.
Sorry.
No,
I did plug in that we do have a cookbook on Amazon, though, in the beginning.
Okay, perfect. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Of course. So I guess my last question before we open this up to the listeners, what does the future of TikTok look like for marketers and creators in your opinion?
That's a good question. I feel like if it doesn't get banned, I feel like it will grow as a stronger app that it already is now. I feel like it will definitely become much bigger than before. And I feel like there'll be more creators that get more jobs because of this. I think the community will just grow as is. I mean, there's older people, police officers, granddads, grandmoms, like everyone is on there. And I feel like it just will become like previously they were talking about getting like you can watch TV on there and stuff like that. So I feel like it would definitely, if it doesn't get banned, it would definitely be everyone's daily routine.
Yeah, you can't avoid TikTok. It's, TikTok's US ad revenue. And one of the reasons I think it won't get banned, because this is a capitalist society, is that TikTok's US ad revenue is going to hit like 6.83 billion. Hang on, I have the numbers here. Yeah, 6.83 billion in 2023. Users projected to grow to 102.4 million. And then if it's around in 2024, US adults are projected to spend nearly 20% of their social media time there. So like to participate and to grow and to join either as a marketer or a creator, I tend to go into TikTok's What's Next report, They advised this year providing actionable entertainment, making space for joy, and embracing community-built ideals, which I think are really three good, solid pieces of advice, because as it evolves, it's become more community centric. Like, communities on TikTok are now, they help you curate your experience, because anytime you open the app, you're only seeing one video at a time, and you are curating your feed with everything you like and everything you participate in and everything you share. So these communities let people share hyper and niche interests, bond with each other, and broaden each other's horizons. And the platform says in fact, the TikTok says it's 1.8 times more likely than traditional social platforms to introduce people to new topics they didn't know they liked, and then to new people they didn't know they wanted to be connected with. So get in there, have fun, get to know people and creators, and join in the excitement.
I think it's going to be a great place for educators. We've now seen that the STEM FYP has come out, which is incredible. And I know that one of the things that both whoever they would allow to buy this platform, whatever lucky white boy billionaire out there would get to buy TikTok, is also very concerned with the education side of TikTok. So I think if you're an educator, this is a great place to build a profile, to reach more people, to get your message out there, to help folks learn and feel smart. And I think that we're going to see TikTok on its absolute best behavior in the coming year, which is great for creators. I'm hopeful that we see better monetization. I'm hopeful that we see better content moderation. I'm hopeful that we see better diversity and equity in who's getting opportunities, and a more watchful eye on if certain marginalized groups' content is being suppressed. And so I think it's a great time to be on the platform and let them show you how much they love you right now while they're trying to save their own skin.
Absolutely.
Love that. Agree with everything. One thing I'll also add is that, and Jess, you kind of touched on this. I kind of want to go back to that building your community offline as well. There's so much value in just, connecting with people. And even if it's just like a Zoom, because obviously it's not doable for everyone. But one of the things I'll say, like even during the pandemic, I've grown a lot of my community on Twitter. That's where I have the majority of my following. And I remember I was just like setting up virtual coffee chats with people like every week that I would just talk to regularly on Twitter. And a lot of those people have become my friends in real life and have also just connected me to other opportunities that have nothing in relation to Twitter. So it's like going back to those, I guess like human core values of just connectivity. It doesn't have to live only on social media, and it can have a lot of value offline as well. So for anyone listening, if you're on TikTok very actively and you feel like the future of TikTok is looking a little bleak, it doesn't have to look that way for sure. And then, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jess.
No, just I agree, absolutely. Second that.
Beautiful. So we have about 20 minutes left. So I do want to open up the mic to anyone in our or any of our listeners that have questions or just any thoughts that they want to share about the future potential TikTok ban. Okay, see Bemi just rose her hand. Bemi, feel free to unmute.
Hi, yes. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can.
Yes, my name is Bemi. I am a brand marketer, and I got pretty active on TikTok last year and have grown my following and just really fell in love with the community and just kind of found a love for TikTok, similar to what you all have been discussing. And so just wanted to get some insight from y'all if you can kind of have had brand deals or kind of worked with different brands currently or in the past. I want to understand like what different companies, corporations, and brands are saying about this, if anything, how they're getting involved in the movement and how they see this impacting their business as well. Because just by observation, it feels like, working with TikTok creators just kind of gives you access to a variety of different communities that Instagram, YouTube, and maybe even Twitter may not. So just want to see if you all have any insights from brands or from the brand's perspective about, how this ban impacts them and how they may be looking to speak up or even stand up for TikTok and TikTok creators.
Yeah, I wrote a lot about this at Adweek. I also launched our creator network, basically. So the way that worked at Adweek was we had 25 creators who at least were vaguely attached to marketing and advertising in some way, and different aspects of it. One was stuff about advertising was absolutely fabulous. But we worked with these folks to my team and I basically that we would work with them and get them either tickets to events or other perks. We had a variety of them. It's been a minute, and I don't want to get too far into it, but it was great because when we would work with these folks, it had an outsized impact on whatever we were trying to achieve. We worked with Girl Boss Town on a promo for Brand Week, and then brought her to moderate a session there. And in exchange, she created, I think, 3 TikTok videos about the event, some in the lead up, and it led to an immediate uptick in registrations and participation. And the impressions we ended up receiving out of it were amazing. And then I also know a number of other marketers in the space who have had a lot of success with creators. You'll often see one of the most emblematic ones that I have seen was, have you heard of EOS? And do you know about their, excuse my language, their cooch blessing cream?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've definitely heard that. It has the potential to really not just change the way the brand approaches social media, but the way it interacts with its audience and the way even it develops its products. And I'd say that there's also an interesting thing that I've noticed at Dentsu since I've joined them, is that there's also an interesting pipeline of creator to agency employee, which is a thing that didn't used to happen or it was rare in the past. So agencies and brands are noticing the creative power of creators and bringing them in as professionals into traditional business organizations, which is a really cool talent pipeline that I don't think existed in the past.
I love that you mentioned that, Jess, because in previous episodes of Creator Tea Talk, we kind of talked about the potential opportunities for creators and influencers coming in on the brand side, which you're correct in that. I've seen, a lot of roles, even on LinkedIn. This is not an ad for LinkedIn. I'm just saying this, that a lot of brands are hiring full-time creators and influencer roles where it's just they want to take the existing creator or influencer in-house. And even in my own work as a marketer and creator myself, I've been hired as an internal creator to literally create video content for these brands. So I definitely agree with you in that there's just so much opportunity in this space. And again, that doesn't just have to live on TikTok.
Earlier this year, Adweek, during the Super Bowl, they reported that creators might be poised to take over Super Bowl advertising over celebrities, which celebrities do great in Super Bowl commercials. They do increase the performance of them, but creators have as much cultural capital, so to speak, as a lot of those traditional celebrities. So I think that could be a really interesting evolution of the creator economy as well.
I agree with you. I think we're seeing a lot of that now. Where you run into some issues in my line of work are with the Guild, because so often a big news agency or newspaper or legacy media contact magazine, something like that, wants to hire a creator because they know that they have a huge audience. They want to get a story out, but then you run up against the difference between a new media contract and what the limitations of that are, and what a legacy media contract is, and how they have to include the Guild in the union, of course. And so I think sometimes this is a whole other topic, maybe, that we talk about new media versus staff or gilded position. But they're realizing this, right? You can get a social media creator who has far more influence to sell things than celebrities do at this point. People aren't buying off the celebrity trends the way that we were in maybe the earlier 2000s. And you can get them for a more affordable rate. You have more authentic content, and you're also giving opportunity to a fresh face. It's a wonderful discovery platform, TikTok is. And I think you're starting to see the unions of the quote professional actors, professional journalists take notice and start to fight back on some of these creator contracts. But for the foreseeable future, at least, there has not been a new negotiation that blocks creators from those big opportunities, which is good.
Beautiful. Femi, I hope you got your question answered. I know that was a lot of information.
No, that was perfect. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions or thoughts that they want to share on the topic? And if not, I'll give my panelists one last opportunity if there's anything that you want to add or plug, and then we can wrap up.
I want to plug myself. Please follow me at Under the Desk News and on the Be Interesting podcast. I love having y'all. If you have any more questions, do you think of something afterwards, you could always email me. I love chatting with folks who are interested in this kind of stuff. And again, just enjoy your TikTok. Enjoy that space that you created for yourself to just comfort yourself, to calm down, to be entertained, to keep you company. And don't worry about it going anywhere right now, because from where I sit, which is directly behind Shochu in the Hall of Congress, no ban is coming anytime soon. You're safe for now.
Yes, I would say come to Linguistics TikTok. It is wonderful and educational and magical, and you will learn all the wondrous things that you didn't know about the words you use every day. Keep your curiosity alive. Learn everything you can. Try everything on TikTok. Have fun with it. And if you like naughty word origins, I have a book coming out later this year called Words from Hell about the darkest, most nefarious corners of our language.
Love that. And it looks like we have a question or a comment from Valerie. You can go ahead and meet yourself, Valerie.
Hello, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much to all the panelists. I had just a quick question for Marie. I just followed Jess and Vidis, so awesome stuff. I'm just so thankful for TikTok. I kind of got into it late in the game, but I'm here in Canada, so the US ban is not so imminent over here, but I'm sure whatever happens in the US slowly follows suit here. So I have asked some brands, because I'm a freelancing social media manager as well as a content creator, and some people have already started to prepare, but they're not taking it as seriously. With this talk, I feel like a lot more calm. It's just, I feel that, yeah, as a personal brand, how do I say this? I guess, yeah, building the brand offline, you're not going to die if TikTok leaves the next day. So I'm very thankful for that. Yes, it's just one way. It's just the platform, the way it's made is just incredibly inviting. So just, yeah, that's my comments on this. Again, you guys, I just love the little analogy of a community theater that I have mentioned. I forgot who had mentioned that. But
It was
Marie,
me.
what is...
Yeah.
Yes. That's awesome. Marie, what is your Instagram handle, or Instagram or TikTok handle? If you don't mind.
I'll give you both. Instagram is Candice Cooks ATL, CANDICE Cooks ATL, and then our TikTok handle is Mari and Candice. So it's MARIAND, and then Candice CANDICE.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Definitely going to follow everybody here. Yeah, I've kind of sad if it does happen, but thank you for the tip. I feel like the sense of urgency is kind of now pushing people to collaborate now before TikTok is gone. So thank you for that tip. Yeah, it's kind of all I had to say. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. I'm going to have to jump off, but love to chat again.
Thanks,
Bye.
Valerie.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll go ahead and wrap us up. So I want to thank everyone for joining today's episode, especially our panelists. You all were so incredibly enlightening, and I am forever grateful. The next episode of Creator Tea Talk is going to be on Thursday, April 20th. And because it's 420, we'll be doing a very special episode on cannabis creators and influencers. So if anyone knows of any cannabis industry marketing professionals, please don't be afraid to holla at me. In the meantime, you can stay up to date on all episodes of Creator Tea Talk by following me at Jadi Powell and the hashtag Creator Tea Talk. And finally, there will be a replay of this episode uploaded to YouTube by early next week. And until then, I hope you all have a fabulous rest of the week. Thank you.
Thanks, Jade.
Thank
Bye.
you.